Hello, everybody. We are back from break with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. When we left our party, they had investigated the memory fragment of the battle between the Vrail Olo and the Sethian Scourge, Hexakali. And they found themselves unwitting hosts of UNT bodies fighting against the actual serpent in the past, or at least a memory of the past. But there was something wrong about that memory. It was not quite right. They were missing something, key components to their victory over Hexakali, and those components were apparently vital because Hexakali destroyed the party brutally, eviscerating and snapping and turning to ice, the majority of them. And after that scenario, they were all flung back out of the memory with a bit of a psychic warning slap, that this experimentation, this meddling with this memory of the past might offer them some answers, might offer them more, but it came at a potential cost. So, as you all kind of pick yourselves up out of the swamp water, the muck, the midges kind of like disperse, not wanting to aggravate these larger entities. What is it you all would like to do now? What's the plan?
What the hell was that?
That was a mind snake.
I look back mind snake, right?
At the illusions, and can we see the combat unfolding as it did, or as we did, or?
It is hard to tell because there's so much movement and because they're just silhouettes. It's hard to tell exactly what is transpiring. But after studying it for a passing or two, it doesn't look as if those were your identical movements necessarily, right? Like, it looks as if there is some memory locked here, and the movements in that memory are just replaying over and over and over again.
Well,
she
seemed kind of strong.
Bad strong.
You died pretty quick there, bud.
Yeah, I only had snake arms against a snake.
Infallible logic from Bones. I love it. Absolutely.
Fair.
I mean,
did y'all get the feeling that they were missing something too?
Yeah, like he lost it.
Like mine clutched at his neck, like he had like an amulet or something, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very clear, at least in my case, that I was at my wit's end, or this was the death rose. The final combat felt like I knew I was going in, and it was dying, or I was.
Well, mine didn't feel quite that way until he noticed that the necklace or whatever was gone.
Right. We were missing like a
thing,
a focus or something.
Totem, a back totem.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I gained anything from this other than Hexakali's big scary snake that does cold shit.
The missing things.
Yeah. Well, I'd assume that the ritual that we're going to find out about at the temple will probably explain what those whatever Macallits are.
Yeah, well, you think they might be related to the ritual of binding?
Seems pretty likely. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Though I suppose if this is the fight that they bound her and they didn't have them.
Well,
Well, I don't
so
know.
Clearly, they whatever
or
the right.
from
Yeah,
your
go ahead.
memories, right? The memories that you were the individuals that you were with seemed wrong. They were convinced, like in the memories, in those fragments memory, they had whatever it was that was missing. You didn't.
Okay.
For clarity, right? Like
All right.
in the memory of the event, that what happened, what transpired, as far as you can tell, right? What transpired, these individuals had something. But when you entered into the memory, you did not, and that seemed to change the outcome of the memory.
We gotta find those things.
Butterfly effect. We come back and all the frogs are now like
Oh shit. They're all
completely
they're all
different race
snakes.
now.
Ah, fuck.
Shit. F.
F shit.
P. S.
Okay. So, you have undergone
You've
and
undergone.
experimentation of the memory fragment. And I will say this to Ashes and Matashtai, since you guys were like there towards the end. Hexakali looked hurt. Like you were hurting her. It was just she was so strong. To stand in the face of her fury was just, it was too much in that instance.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Jeez, Mitch, why didn't you survive 50 damage in one turn, or one action?
Yeah, geez
Look.
Louise, Mitch.
I tried. I tried real hard.
I did too. By the way, ow! Like, what the ow? Like, my mind. hurts.
You actually hear both Matashtai and Ashes. You both hear, yeah, that sucked. Maybe don't do that again. Well, Ashes hears that, and Matashtai, you hear Valena is much more mild with her response. She's just like, ow, that was a little ow.
Zalara, you felt that?
Yeah, I felt that.
Good.
Oh, wow. All right, okay.
Cut him with your sword magic.
Draw me in the next fight. See what happens.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I attack a midge and I slap it, and then I flurry of blows and throw out some other slap.
This poor fucking mage is just like zzz, 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 whack, just instant splats, and then that's fucking stupid. Oh fuck.
So I'm gonna slap Ashes with one.
Sure, I'll take it.
Bones and Ezra, who's more hurt between the two of you? I can't see your health. Bones, you look pretty okay.
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
I can't see Ezra's health.
I move.
Interestingly
Oh,
enough,
I can't-
Ezra's the only one whose health bar I don't see.
Yeah, I can't see his health bar at all.
Me either. He probably did that on purpose.
That store, it hurts so much. Oh.
Heal me, don't heal him then.
I'm just gonna take a look at how much damage everyone took, and then
Punish him
decide.
for his hubris.
You don't believe me?
I'm gonna walk up and slap Bones.
Proportionally, he should be more hurt than me.
Yeah,
Just
but you're
saying.
in the fight more.
Alright, whatever. So, what I get? Fucking
Excuse
13?
me?
Do I get 5 and 7 or just 7?
5 was to Ashes, which was kind of unfortunate, but
I mean, that's
you get 7.
fine. It's fine. I'm appreciative regardless.
Last
Appreciate it.
time I haste Matashtai.
Gosh.
I'll accept
Not
haste.
in the
I thought you got
fight.
rid of haste.
No, I still have it for another 2,000 experience.
Okay, so as I recall, south is actual death, And then north is what?
Frosty Death, as we just learned.
North is Frost Death?
No, south is Frost Death. That's her territory.
Okay. And then north is Frog Bone Zone? Is that correct?
Yes, that
Frog
is
Bone.
the fetid dude's territory.
Yeah.
Fetid, bro.
Alright. Okay, well, what do you want to do?
We've learned
Well,
a reasonable amount of information already this morning, or this evening. This twilight.
recently,
Sorry. Yes. Recently, we have learned a fair bit. You know, this experience. One, we've learned significantly about at least one of the scourges, both the past and the present. We've learned about what lies in the temple.
Well, allegedly.
And the value that has,
Allegedly.
supposedly,
allegedly.
and that I feel like both of those have some substance. And
Let me pull up this here
Bones,
map.
you have your little new alchemical thing.
Oh, my super poison and or maybe not poison, not really sure.
Yeah, that. So we've already had a fruitful day, I would say.
There is a unexplored place near the first island that we could go back to. Near near Sadman Island.
When you say first island, where the hell's that?
Sadman Island.
Sad Man
Admin
Island.
Yeah, the one where the ghost just walks around looking sad.
Oh, the thing with Dendar, we shouldn't go back there. That's bad.
Why?
Dendar, the night serpent.
The guy just looks sad.
That's not what I'm worried about. The sad guy can stay sad. It's the altar to the night serpent that is possibly dangerous.
Okay, well, I don't want to go there. I want to go to the place near it.
Hey.
I'd like to go fuck up Yerk.
I thought we agreed to not do that until tomorrow.
Matashtai really wants to just go fuck up Yerk. He's
Well, no,
ready. He's ready for liberation.
Somebody remind me of our agreement with Yamato, Yemen. What the hell? I don't remember what the dude's name is.
What is our agreement with Yevon?
Zartan.
You Yevon.
Zardan. Okay, what do we say to him? Because he was like, "Oh, lead people away." We're like, "No, just like sleep on it." And he's like, "Oh, LOL, I don't know."
It was buy a day if you can.
That's what y'all told him, was buy a day if you can.
And then we're supposed to go up there because he's going to lead the people on maneuvers.
Well, just lead
No.
lead some of Yerk's
Yeah.
forces away, so that
On
they
maneuvers.
can't come in behind you or do anything like that.
On maneuvers. Okay.
Sure. On
Okay, and
maneuvers.
so and then directly south of us is Frost Death. And then from that other place with the statue and the poison statue is what? Is that other scourges? Was that what we had heard?
To the south?
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Okay.
it's between the other scourges. Well, the other scourges are probably southeast past skeleton bitches.
I think we're
Pain.
pretty
Yeah, like
close.
Scourge.
If we wanted to,
And then true south and southwest, I think, is the undead hordes of Dwermacor.
Okay.
Uh,
Undead hordes?
But,
Undead
but
hordes? Undead hordes? Undead hordes?
is there anything else in this cave? Is there anything that could be a clue or?
There was unexplored locations north Matashtai where you were heading, prior
thought North
to
was
Ezra sticking his
Bone
hand
Zone.
in the light wall.
Yeah, there's like a spot up here, and then there's a little spot to the right over here.
So there's
I start marching through the muck. Let's go check out up here real quick.
I come
Okay,
with.
I mean, I'm with you, but I'm pretty sure this is Frog Bone Zone.
There's a part of me that wants to talk all of us into touching it again to see if Jeremy will just rerun the fight again and just commit to the bit as many times as it takes to almost
I
kill
want
us.
you so all of Ezra and Matashtai, I say is kind of like the two with the better insights, right? Like nothing has changed. Maybe you don't have great insight normally, Ezra, but you've been rolling good tonight.
You saw the reaction. Like, oh, well.
Nothing has changed with the island, with the light wall. You have nothing to nothing to imply that touching it again would not result in the exact same situation you just went through.
I mean, I learned my lesson. I don't know about you.
So, as you guys begin to march northward around the island, I want to call this out as you kind of get to this point. You see north here what you had initially gone to investigate, Matashtai, but you were kind of like distracted by Ezra's sudden disappearance. You see a long strip of dry land that lolls out of a little cave and into the swamp itself, like almost kind of like a demonic tongue. Your vision almost kind of like involuntarily, momentarily narrows on the cave entrance, and it pulls in, like it does that camera zoom focus in while the side is like pushing out type scenario, and a plume of fog shudders out of the cave mouth like an exhalation, and then your vision returns to normal.
Sorry, I missed a little bit of that because Arthur's sitting here whining at me and barking. But so something shot out of the cave and
it didn't shoot out of the cave. It looked so the strip of land is reminiscent of a tongue, and something caused your vision to kind of like zoom in on the mouth of the cave, and when that happened, it was like something had breathed out of the cave, like this exhalation of fog kind of like comes out of the cave.
I walk up and I stab the little island tongue.
You plunge Tongbakiri into relatively dry land. It's just earth. Okay. It's just dirt.
All right.
There's no pained response from the giant head that you
all of a sudden there's like an fuck.
Piercing the tongue up.
All right. Okay, first I want to check over to the right here to see a little.
So you guys ignore that potential scenario and begin to. I'll just move you back to where you were, and then you guys can navigate from there. You move past beyond that situation and into a more open expanse that curves eastward and then south. And as you get here, you find a narrow tunnel winding southward. Upon the walls here, there are strikingly beautiful carvings of strangely anthropomorphized serpents. Except maybe not so strange to you all now that you have actually been inside the flesh of said serpents. But they decorate the walls here in an almost hypnotic, contorted fashion. you hear a slight hissing in the air.
Does the iconography seem carved or drawn or magically embossed?
Or alive?
It looks carved. All the rest of it is difficult to tell, but it definitely looks like it's carved into the walls of this tunnel.
And it just depicts just Yuan-Ti like chilling.
Kind of not really chilling. It's almost like they're a contorted mass, like a ball, a nest of serpents, right? But it's not just snakes. It's all of these different humanoid, anthropomorphized serpent figures, and you've seen a couple of them stand out as familiar now that you have seen some of the actual shapes, but
like
there's
this
dozens more.
of...
There are a crazy amount of different mutations or representations of where a snake's head can be and where a serpent's tail can be, basically.
All right, well, whatever. I head on down as long as nothing's freaking me out.
No,
Mitch stepped away.
the water here does begin to be a little deeper, right? It goes not quite up to your hips, but it starts to get closer to that scenario. So it's starting to become a bit of a slog to move through, difficult terrain, if you will.
Great, love slogs.
Okay. As you press forward, Bones, you see that the tunnel itself bells out for a moment into a slightly wider chamber with kind of like some weird... the iconography continues here, and it's just like this big opening of contorted serpents. But there's a lot of erosion damage here. You find, right? Like, there's a sliver of the wall that looks like it once should have been maybe a way to enclose this chamber, but it's worn through by water and dripping, right? So it's kind of like cracked and destroyed, which is somewhat odd. Ezra, roll me a history check. And Bones...
Hold on, what is somewhat... the stone?
Yeah, so Bones, Ezra, roll me a history, and Bones, roll me a... Do you have a thing for stone cunning? Or what does stone cunning allow you to do?
Just gives me advantage on history checks related to stonework.
Okay, well, you also roll me a history.
Okay, and it's related to stonework?
Yes, this is related to stonework. Yep.
I rolled a 20.
Okay,
Not
great.
A natural, though.
Bones, the damage that has been done to this space, to the iconography, to the carvings, to the wall, all of this, it looks mostly natural, right? It is the passage of time. But for that to happen, this would need to happen over the course of decades at least, if not centuries, right, to cause this kind of damage. In this type of atmosphere. Ezra, from your history check, right, you recall the conversations that you've had and what you've learned and the things that have been put forth to you. You recall that the Blacktongue tribe only got here about a year ago, and they were seemingly brought here to replace the Vrail Olo, right? Which means the Vrail Olo should have been here potentially as recently as just a little over a year ago, fighting against the Sethian Scourges.
Wow.
This type of... And so the two of you kind of like putting your heads together at this point. This type of decay or the... What you find here is almost indicative of a civilization or whatever you might call the Vrail Olo that was already far in decline. You think back to the ruined temple where you met Yoastel? That didn't happen in just a year.
Okay. Old snake shit. I mean, they are immortal. Makes sense.
I'm gonna move Matashtai along with you guys.
Okay. Well, and it's just all in this room is all stony, craggy stuff, or what?
Well, so like the walls are all again covered with that snake iconography, the Yuan-Ti iconography, etc., etc. But there's a lot of wear and tear and worn sections. But it's specifically like this section here and this section here that is really worn through with water wear. Like it's almost pushed all the way through this wall. And it's worn right through the iconography that's entirely destroyed, basically. So this looks like damage that has not been dealt with for a very, very long time, right? Like, if the Braille Olo were here, like, 5 years ago, they weren't taking care of this place.
Okay. Old snake shit. Got it. So nobody comes down here. Got it. That could mean cool stuff.
Could mean dangerous stuff.
There's still that slight hissing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep an eye out for like snakes or some shit.
Okay.
Just in general. Just
Sure.
shit.
Just shit in general. Gotcha. Yep.
There's trickery afoot.
There's trickery afoot. There, trickery. It's afoot. Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, you know, I don't see a. You know, I look around. I don't see any snakes trying to jump out at me. Right?
Nope. There's no.
All right, I push on forward then.
As you step forward, you do see something. It's actually like as you go in between this little wall scenario, the hissing becomes just barely louder. Like, probably imperceptibly louder to the rest of the party. Again, Bones' freakishly high perception saves the day in this scenario. Like, but there's just this slightly elevated volume to that hiss, and it draws your attention, and you see just the barest pinprick hole in the wall on the eastern side. And then after seeing that, you look and you see there are a half a dozen holes on either side of this tunnel.
It sounds like a trap tunnel. You know, like
It does.
I don't know, needles or gas or some
Snakes.
bullshit. I started looking around. For some kind of trap trigger. This is sounding like death.
So roll me a perception check.
All right.
Sorry about that. I'm back now.
You're good.
I rolled a 25.
25. There is nothing that you can see above the surface of the swamp, at least. Everything up seems clear, but keep in mind the water here is about waist high, and you have no way of seeing what might be under the water.
These little slits.
Yep. How
high
big
are
are they? They're
How high?
basically like just over the surface of the water, so they're going to be torso high.
And what is their diameter?
Pencil size maybe.
Pencil.
They're tiny. You
That doesn't sound like darts.
would not have noticed them if it had not been for Bones' freakishly high perception.
All right, well, I call
holes.
I call it. I'm like, yep, this is definitely trapped.
I'll actually like get a little bit closer and try to listen into the hole, not actually get my head.
Yeah,
near it, but,
sure.
Like, I'll like.
Now, roll me a perception check. Does your keen senses apply
Yeah,
here?
it's for smelling and
Yeah.
and
Then
hearing.
yeah. Roll a perception check at advantage.
22.
Yeah.
coming
The
from the hole?
hissing is definitely coming from these holes.
Oh, bro, it
and
probably shoots snakes or some shit.
Point of fact, roll me, Ashes, since you're doing this, roll me an insight, real quick.
Lord of mercy, snake trap.
Inside. Here we go. Woo! 24.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the hissing sound is what it sounds like there is something inside these walls that is pressurized, but there's some sort of leak. So that leak is causing this like slight hiss as the pressure is constantly pushing it out, but something is just as constantly refilling the pressure.
Bones, you're right about this trap. But it's depressurizing at the same time.
It definitely, from what you can tell, it sounds like it is still active, but it might not be as responsive, maybe, or as potent, maybe. You're not sure about that. Like, it could be that it doesn't function as it's supposed to function, but it definitely still seems active.
Okay, well, I don't see any way to set it off, so it's got to be under the water. I say, Mase!
Oh no! Why?
Not in the water, bro. Pop out of the wall or something.
Yeah, so you hear nothing for a while, right? And then
Mossy, I know you're here.
There is a slight rumbling to your left, and an eyeball kind of pops out of the wall near you.
The left, so here?
Yes.
Okay. I said, hey, Mossy, there's something weird in this wall. Can you go, like, break it?
He'll give you kind of like this grind. Of kind of like a try, right? And then the eye kind of like disappeared. And he's gone for 20 seconds, 40 seconds.
Ashes, listen to see if he's breaking it.
A minute and a half. About 2 minutes now.
I'm trusting him.
And Ashes, you're oh shit. You're trying to listen to see, and I assume you're kind of like close to the holes, how you had been listening previously. You hear this kind of like little gurgle. Like the hiss begins to kind of like die away, and you hear this little gurgle noise, and then you hear this kind of like basically like gush, and then there's this little spurt of green that comes out of the hole, and then there's just this like trickle of green fluid that begins to drip out of one hole, and then slowly you see it begins to drip out of all of the holes.
Pointed out the bones. Poison trap?
Looks like a poison trap.
Poison trap? Poison trap.
Yeah, probably. I wait. I'm just gonna wait. I'm waiting patiently for Mossy to, report back. Make sure he's not dead.
Okay. Mossy comes back. Eye appears in the wall after about 4.5 minutes, right?
That's efficient.
And I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw with Mossy.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Apparently he is proficient in no saving throws, so that's fun.
Does he not?
I'll
have to update that.
Apparently not.
He'll learn some proficiencies eventually.
15.
15. Okay. So he does save, which means takes half of 29 poison damage.
Lord, I don't
and-
have access to his token, so I can't.
Yeah, I'll get it. No worries.
Can Mossy take poison damage?
Yeah, he's not immune to
Yeah, he's not
poison.
immune. He's got like a fleshy-ish portion, basically, of his body that's not just
rough
pure
flesh.
stone. Yeah.
Damn, Moss.
And you see he actually like looks a little like green around the gills, like his eye is a little green, like he popped into a place and got flooded, like splashed with poison, basically.
Dry,
And he
red
looks at you and
eyes.
he says, "Ugh, big tub, bad stuff. Should be gone now."
Oh, thanks, Moss. Sorry about that.
Is he alright? He looks a little fucked up.
He sounds a little messed up, yeah. Hey, Moss, you want a super dense crystal? Will that help you out? You hungry?
Been a little. Crystal's tasty. Crystal.
All right, I pull out a super dense giant crystal.
Okay, so you see he goes from like
He popped
eye
up,
in the
I
wall.
go-
He goes from eye in the wall to like mouth in the wall, and he's just like getting you to put it in the mouth in the wall.
I do it. I don't give a shit. I'm not scared.
So you're like,
it's like
this
feeding a wood chipper.
50-pound crystal. You're just like, and it's only like it's just a shard, right? So you're just like
It's dense.
into it, right? And you kind of like tip it over, and you know, Mossy does the little like lamprey or Charybdis, you know, kind of like and like circle of teeth in the surface type scenario, and it just saws and grinds through. But Mossy kind of like sputters a couple times, right? Like as like there's these little like dust clouds that kind of come out of it as he kind of like coughs, like he's like he just took a really big hit or something like that, right? Like he right, you see these little like crystal dust clouds spew out, and Mossy looks at you like turns, tilts, and the eye comes back, and and it's still greenish, right? But he looks at you and he says, "I feel funny."
Oh.
And he kind of like twists, and he pulls out one of his arms, right, with the taloned ends. And the arm has like, it's
Out
like
of the wall.
it's doubled in size.
Oh, a big arm.
Mossy describes to you
They all like that, or just that one?
that he feels so strong right now.
All right.
And I believe, let me double check.
Thorn buffs.
He is upgraded.
Did not know he was gonna. I was just trying to make him feel better. He didn't say this rock looked particularly delicious.
Mossy currently has a strength of 23.
Wow, he's a giant. All right, well, damn, Moss.
Can I eat one of those rocks?
You
I
can
would
try.
also
but
like a rock.
I don't know that I would suggest it. Okay, well, damn, Moss. All right, well, thanks for taking care of that, bud.
He's kind of like, he's a little like fascinated with his newfound strength, and he's just kind of like, he responds to you kind of like haphazardly, like, yeah, okay. And he's kind of like flexing.
He became a dude bro.
Well, he's not.
Alright,
he's
well-
not like flexing. He's like stressing this one arm that's kind of like out of the water. Still unwilling to like come out fully and get in the water, right? Like he's in the wall, just like flexing this one arm, just like engrossed with it, basically.
Something to break.
Well, we'll see if we can find you something to break. All right, then. Well, trap disabled. I head down confident that my bro is taking care of it.
So as this has all kind of happened, right? There is this little kind of like greenish tint to the water in this space now, right? Like the poison didn't like shoot out at you, or anything like that, but it did drip out into this tunnel when Mossy broke the trap.
Yeah, I got clothes on. I'm
There
not
is-
drinking it.
There is a very clear avenue down the center that is not it's like an oil slick, right? Like it hasn't pushed out into encompass the entire tunnel. It's just on the edges right now, right? Type scenario. So there is an avenue for you to walk down, and as you do, you get about halfway and you feel something shift under your foot, right? And then there is this very kind of like ineffectual kind of like blowing that comes from the holes for about 5 or 6 seconds, but nothing happens.
Hey.
Found the trigger. Found it.
And then you move forward and you find another cavern down here. It's an oddly shaped cavern. There are 2 pillars here with giant stone snakes wrapped around them, rising up out from the they're not like on an island or anything like that. They're actually rising up out from the swamp. And chiseled into the lintel stone across the top are
It's a lintel stone.
a lintel stone is the capstone that sits between 2 archways, right?
Oh.
To kind of like hold the 2 arches in position, right?
All right.
And chiseled into them are some words in Dwarvish. Roic ar I Gorond Grisil.
And in cat, that means
I will put that into the chat, and in cat that means bones. It means don the crystal crown.
Barb. Well, the only dwarf crown I know of is the Malaire thing. Was that crystal?
The Malaire thing?
Yeah. Hold on, I got it in my bag.
You're gonna have to hit me with more specifics than that.
Okay, well, I have something in my bag called Crystal Crown, so I put that on.
Okay, you guys refresh me. Where did you get this crystal crown?
Oh.
Well, it's next to Golden Globe, so it's probably on 6, if I had to guess.
Is it?
It was on the lost level. Is when we were trying to find the way into Malaire's tomb.
Next to Iron Key for room 25. This is all in the Malaire,
Yep.
Malaire section of my bag.
So this is the crystal crown that you obtained from the infant in the King's Walk, right? The stone babby that turned into a crystal crown when you touched it, right?
I remember that.
And you used this crystal crown to get into the actual Malaire's tomb, right? The final way into Malaire's tomb. And sure as
that's
shit,
how we got past that illusion wall, right?
yeah,
I know now.
absolutely. Sure as shit, Bones, you put that crown on, and between the 2 snake pillars, there is a shimmer of silvery liquid light, and you see a portal open up.
All right, well, I found a portal.
All right. What do we call this one?
I don't know.
Oh.
Snake crown? Crowning snake?
Crown portal.
Snake Crown Portal.
Snake crown portal.
Portal. Let's see if there's
Hell
a
yeah.
place we can put this where it's going to be even readable.
There's a place outside.
Snake Crown Port.
Don't know where it goes.
Okay.
All right, well, I look around. I make sure there's nothing. I don't know why else they would trap something down here unless there was cool shit. Maybe they were trying to trap people coming out of the portal. Oh, hey, we should do that.
Try to trap people coming out of the portal?
Yeah, put traps for them.
You mean like maybe a poison trap?
Maybe. I don't know. We don't have that much poison. Where am I going to get all that?
I mean, there was a tub of it at one point.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
All right. Is there anything else going on in the room or anything like that? Anything
there
to be found?
isn't, but for the discovery and activation of the Snake Crown portal, you all can gain 300 experience.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. 7.
Yep.
5.
Alrighty then.
Crown portal.
All right. Well, we did it. Time to head out.
Okay. So you guys make your way back out of the passage, back to water that is less deep, back up to like your knees, and back towards the Devil's Tongue Island. What is it that you guys would like to do at this point?
Which one? You want to check out Devil Tongue Island?
Yeah, I think it's time to check it out.
Oh, we'll check out Devil Tongue Island.
Okay.
I'm the only.
I was gonna say,
here,
are people coming this way, or do I need to move
people?
people?
People there. I grouped up. If we're walking, I'll walk.
We walking. I don't want to move y'all.
I like it when you move us, though.
Well, I like to move you guys sometimes, but you guys have been relatively active tonight, so I'm gonna let you continue to be active. Okay, so you guys move back to where you had been, investigating this tongue coming out of a cavern, and you do see, right, like as you kind of come back out of that passage that you were in, you see yet another kind of like cloud, this little of fog that seems to come out of this cave, and as you approach, it's cold, right? There's this definite chill in the air here. Definitely a unpleasant kind of like brisk situation.
Okay.
Assuming that you just
You're literally from hell. Why don't you go in there?
Literally from hell.
Aren't you also resistant to, I don't know, everything?
No, not
Half the fucking
everything.
elements.
A few things, yes.
Cold?
I mean,
it's fire, cold, and poison.
and don't forget slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning whenever I'm.
I mean,
All right, well, good luck.
From non-magical.
Right.
Oh, right.
I mean, if you would like me to go, I'll go. I'll like do the creep.
I believe in you. I'm
You
watching you
step
back.
closer. Every foot you step closer to the entrance of this cave, it gets colder. To the point to where it is intensely cold when you're just standing right outside the entrance of this cave. Definitely well below freezing. But none of the swamp, none of the liquid around here seems to be frozen, and there's no ice on any of the cavern's walls or the mouth of the cave itself or anything like that.
All right. What I'll do, Jeremy, is I'll push in until I am forced to take damage. And the second I start physically hurting from this,
you step forward, and as soon as you step forward, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 4 whiz roll 20. Dirty 20.
It
He's
is
so wise.
incredibly cold, right? But you are steeling yourself against it. You're resistant to these types of elements. You shrug it off, and it is hard. It is eking at the edge of your mind just to break down and start just shivering in the cold. But you don't. You're able to push through, but
Yep.
you're gonna retreat.
Back up. I'll be like, all right,
Okay.
no more farther than that. Any farther than that, then your safety is jeopardized.
We don't see anything that could be the source of the cold, right?
No.
It's just
Would
like
you,
an empty cavern right now.
How would you describe that cold,
I'm
Ashes?
like craning my neck, trying to look in there, and like,
You're towing that line of making another saving throw. You're
I know.
very
I know.
much on the scenario of and you can. So here's the thing: you can
Wait.
kind of see into the back of this cavern, but there's a darkness there that's kind of like impeding your vision. An
Okay.
unnatural darkness there impeding
Oh,
your
all right.
vision.
I
Hold-
got an idea. I'm gonna pull out my pack. I'm gonna dig out my winter clothes. I'm gonna start donning winter clothes. Like, someone get a rope. You might be pulling my
hold
unconscious
up.
body back.
Hold up, we can maybe do this less dumb.
Like, I've got a boot pulled up. I'm like, what? Huh?
Ezra, don't you got like a new make a little copy of yourself, run around, look through its eyes kind of thing you can do now?
I do, but that's pretty high level magic if we think we're going to go deal with the fetid obliteration today. That
Well, y'all been pretty adverse to dealing with it today, so now or never.
I kind of look at Ashes and Bones and kind of gauge their.
I'm still putting on winter shit. I'm getting the cloak. I mean, until there is a decided on plan, I'm still going through with mine.
Ezra sighs and starts stepping forward.
Okay.
So Ashes is at the threshold, or he stepped away from it?
Ashes is
If you
at
get
the
any
threshold
closer
right
than
now. You
where
get
I am,
any
you're-
any further, and it's no bueno situation.
So I'm gonna step forward. I'm gonna put my hand on Ash's shoulder. I'm gonna look at him. Don't hurt me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Mislead.
Okay. So with mislead, you basically make a double of yourself. The double lasts for your concentration up to an hour. And you become invisible. Okay, gotcha. And you can use your action to move up to twice your speed and do some stuff, basically. And you can see and hear through its eyes. Okay, cool. There's an illusory double of you. Feel free to move it forward in order to investigate this cavern.
Yeah, illusion it.
The illusory
could-
double is unaffected by the cold. And as you proceed forward, your vision is kind of barred of the back half of the cavern, right? Like there is a darkness there that your gaze cannot penetrate, right? Even with the illusion, right? So what you can see here in the front is just kind of like this normal, albeit very, very cold cavern. Do you want your illusion to go investigate the rest of the cavern?
Of course.
Okay. You find that your illusion gets here, and everyone else who can see the illusion, as it's kind of like walking forward, suddenly it's gone. It vanishes. It disappears from your sight range. And the illusion, as you're kind of like seeing through its eyes, Ezra, you can now see other stuff entirely. You have gone past this point of obscurity, and you find mounted on the back corner of this wall, there is a large mirror, and it is framed by an assemblage of hundreds and hundreds of tiny interlocking gears.
Mirror with a shit ton of gears?
Large mirror? You mean like a full body mirror?
I mean actually large, like a large
10 by
creature
10?
could fit through it.
Like a Hydra. I don't know how big a Hydra is. I mean,
Yeah, Hydra's huge. I don't know. I don't remember.
Like,
Is it squeezed through?
Is it 5 feet wide? Is it 10 feet wide? Is it?
It is large. It is large enough for a large creature to see themselves in it. It is basically like a 10 by 10 taking up the back corner of this space.
Yeah. That's the only thing in this.
Yeah.
Mapped
It's
area?
just it's this immense mirror that is just framed by this strange assemblage of hundreds of tiny interlocking stone gears.
I approach the mirror.
Okay.
Well, this sounds like some drow shit.
It's reflective. It's a mirror. You see yourself in it.
I think more Mechanus than Drow.
No, it's cold as shit. It's all dark. It's giant mirror. This is drow. This is drow all over.
Cold is not Drow.
Yeah, it's drow. It's evil.
It's the device that trapped Hexakali's soul, making her immortal.
Oh, you think so?
What do you want to do?
No way. It wouldn't be that easy.
I attempt
No
to tap the
way.
mirror with my illusion.
It's solid. A glass mirror.
You can touch things with a damn illusion?
I believe so. You can gesture, speak, and behave in whatever way you choose. You're using its senses. I guess I don't know. It doesn't really like specify if it's super solid.
Is it incorporeal or not? Like,
yeah, it does. I don't think it actually specifies. It just says
I would assume
illusory
it'd
double.
work like Mage Hand can still interact with stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Maze Hand is not illusory. Maze Hand is conjuration.
Well, I think you might not be like solidly hitting the mirror, but you are able to interact with things enough to tell that the mirror is a solid object. You know? Like, you can use the senses of the illusion to determine that this is
It's not an illusion in and of itself.
it is a real object. Yeah, like, your illusory hand doesn't pass through its illusory surface, you know?
Can I track a source of the frigid climate?
How would you like to do that?
Can I see where the frost seems thickest, or if there's wind blowing, or...
There's no wind, and there's no actual frost or anything like that. It's just this pervasiveness of cold. Like, there's no ice, no frost, no rime, nothing. And your illusion doesn't feel the cold, so you do not have the ability to tell whether or not it's colder where you're at compared to where you were. So aside from, like, sight, I don't think your illusion has, like, senses that might be useful to determine temperature, basically. What's the plan?
I send the illusion back to me.
Okay. Illusion begins to come forward, and there's a point where it passes, right? Where all of a sudden you can now see everyone else through its eyes, and everyone else can now see the illusion once more. Comes back.
And I ask Ashes to hand me one of his 100 vials. And I pour water into the vial.
Okay.
And I hand it to the illusion.
Okay.
And I have the illusion walk in and attempt to do a little science.
Okay. Where is it going, and what science? You are in control. What's the plan to Stan?
So if it is cold enough to do someone harm, the molecules of the water should react in some fashion. So if it exponentially increases, it should freeze or at least produce condensation or something of that nature. And I'm just going to kind of move into the room to see if there is a gradual increase in that sort of reaction.
So the mislead illusion basically like walks to the back to the mirror while watching the vial to see if there's any changes or anything like that, and then comes back, right? Like that kind of concept.
Slowly to let the
to give time.
Yep.
A few minutes pass because you are taking your time, right? Like it's not flash freeze like scenario, right? But so you are taking your time. So a few minutes are going to pass while this happens, or while this all has been happening. So Ash's Bones and Matashtai, anything happening with you guys?
I'll just be chatting.
Okay.
I feel like we'd see evidence of cold if it was really cold, and that kind of makes me think it's gonna be something in our minds. Something.
Yeah, you think it's all in our minds?
Yeah, something affecting us to make us feel cold without it actually being cold.
I got like a Gorillaz song in my head or something like that I don't.
Good.
Like, no, there's some like track. It might not be Gorillaz. It might be actually something off of like what is it? Is it like Kick Punch? It's all in the.
Oh, that's not Gorillaz.
That's Parappa the Rapper. That's what it is. As soon as I was like Kick Punch, and then I was like, oh shit, that's nice. Okay, cool.
If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find.
Anything else aside from Matashtai just chatting, Bones, Ashes chatting and listening?
Guess not.
Okay.
Yeah.
The situations tracker ticks up, and we hit 6. So we're gonna roll to see if shit happens. And amazingly, there is not a 6 that is rolled. What? Okay.
Fucking nerd.
Wow. All right. We're back to 0 on situations. All right. The mislead illusion returns. There is absolutely no change in the water.
All right. Well, it's not cold. It's all in our mind. I have made a decision that I will not think about cold, and I will run through as fast as possible.
Okay.
Oh.
Hold up. I grab his clothing if I can.
Please let him roll acrobatics to avoid this grab. Please
I grab
let
his dumb
him
cat ass.
run in there stupidly. Please
like a cat
allow
when the
it.
door kind of opens and it's like
Grab him by the scruff. I would like to grab Bones by the scruff.
I have a mane.
Shake him a little bit.
Rollies.
There's a scruff under that mane.
Please don't touch my mane.
It only comes to rollies if the two players disagree.
No, I allow it to happen.
If it's allowed to happen, then it just happens.
I just kind of grab him like, whoa, hold up.
You're not a real cat if you allow this to happen.
Before we run in there,
I knocked the vial out of your illusion's hand.
So,
Okay.
let's walk through it again. Found a mirror, had a bunch of gears in it. why do we want to go in there? Is there anything that's like driving the need to go in there?
I hadn't been in there.
I mean, there's plenty of things I could have not noticed because I get a little distracted. And Bones is good at finding the secrets.
Okay.
But from what I'm seeing, it looks like this is not a physical trap. Maybe I just
Wrap? A physical wrap?
Trap.
wrap with
Trap.
a T.
Oh, T-wrap. Okay, got it.
And really, the mirror that there feels like there's something.
It strikes me less of a trap and more of a something doesn't want us to go near it, but why doesn't it want us to go near it?
It's probably cool.
I'm curious if that barrier is the limit of the whatever this force is, and once you get past that, it's not the frigid. But that's not something I can determine.
You want me to put on my anti-cold ring before we do it?
Doesn't that
I'll
take
do
a
it.
tournament?
Well,
It sure does.
but I feel like with Ezra's experiment, we kind of ruled out that it's truly cold.
All right, so we're back to not thinking about if it's cold.
Well, okay. Follow up. Should I go first? Because I do have a bit more protection against the mind than you guys.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And if it is mind related,
he seems so excited. You're gonna.
He is real excited, and if I get in there and the mind means nothing, Bones, it's all yours. You can rush on through.
Look, if you just think this is warm, it's warm, then you won't be cold. It's been proven to work.
I'd like to see your references.
You know what? I would like to, before I do anything else, take Bones' advice, and I would try to meditate and focus my mind before moving into this room, and try to eliminate the sensation of cold or hot, and just enter a state of zen, a temperature zen.
Isn't that already a thing that like monks do?
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Like,
monk shit.
do you already have that ability?
I mean, not like technically.
Oh, okay.
I don't have I ignore temperature.
It's like the precursor. Gotcha. Okay, so Matashtai begins to
Is
meditate.
there I ignore temperature?
And Matashtai,
No,
I think it's like I ignore food and aging. Like
Yeah, food and
that's what it
aging,
There
is.
is agelessness.
Yeah.
Timeless body, yeah.
Yeah.
Matashtai begins to meditate, and Matashtai, while you are meditating, roll me. Nah, I don't think you get to roll anything for this. I think you are meditating, and while you are doing this, you're clearing your mind of these thoughts, of the worry, of the concern of cold. You are thinking of yourself as a warm being, a bright day, right? There is a fire inside your chest that radiates out. And then you hear ever so imperceptibly, like just on the edge of your consciousness as you're kind of like meditating, you hear this just, God, that fire, bright sunny day. Should
Really
go on a
distracting.
picnic. Sorry. So you get momentarily distracted, and then what? You run on through?
I wrap my rope around myself, hand it to Ashes, and run in.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
You run in. I need you to make
get to that wall.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Oh,
Okay.
see, I told you. You just gotta think you're not cold.
Well, to be fair, I do have advantage, but it didn't really make a difference.
It does not matter in this instance. you steel yourself, right? You know how these things work. It is all in your mind. It's fine. It's not real. It doesn't have to be. But as you step forward, in coaching yourself like this, in saying these things and doing the mantra, you are also allowing for the concept of doubt, right? Because if you're doing these things, you're doing them for a reason, and you kind of like hear in the back of your mind, like, oh shit. And that kind of like breaks your concentration for just a moment, and
7d10 damage.
you take 9 psychic damage as your body shivers and cracks.
Huh.
But you realize it is not actually from cold. There is something acting upon your mind, influencing your body. Just because you know it's not real, though, doesn't mean that it is.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. Basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Well, I tried to get past that barrier.
you push
thing
right
then.
through without any issue, right? Like you rush in and you have this horrid like moment where you're like, oh fuck, it didn't work. Ow, god, shit. And then you just stumble through and it's gone. On the other side of the barrier, you are. Matashtai disappears, and Matashtai, you are now standing in front of a large mirror.
Can I see back
Surrounded.
to them?
Nope, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot see back past the basically the cutoff point. Obscurity.
Then can y'all hear me?
Y'all can indeed hear him.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Like, it's definitely in the mine. Just a heads
Ah,
up.
well, as I told you, it's mind over matter.
I take the rope and I'm pulling back into the cold part.
No, you fucker.
That'd be pretty good.
All right, well, what's in there?
Well, what's in here? Do I see anything different than what Ezra saw?
It's a big mirror framed by little stone gears all interlocked all the way around the mirror.
Are they
Right.
moving or?
They are not moving.
Okay.
They're just
Here's-
like
hey,
I
they're
spent
just
my
like the
Gears are supposed
teeth
to
are stuck
move.
together, right? Like they're all all the way around.
Okay.
I send my illusion back in there with Matt.
Illusion walks back in.
I walk around behind the mirror. Anything on the back
You
of the
actually
mirror?
can't walk behind the mirror. The mirror
Oh,
is,
it like covers the whole.
yeah, the stone. It basically like covers. It doesn't cover the whole thing so much as it is set into the wall itself. The gears being the frame are kind of like the edge of it into the wall and floor.
Hey, are all the gears there?
Can I check and look for any inconsistencies or anything within the gear-like pattern that might be a trigger that I could have Matt?
You could roll me a perception or an investigation check.
Do any of them look weird? I'm getting bored.
Like weird
26.
gears or what?
Ezra's double. As this conversation is being shouted back and forth, you now no longer focused on the cold, but now focused on the mirror. Your attention there. You begin to slowly and methodically. That one. There is a gear that is out, like it's
Protruding slightly?
protruding from the line of the overall edge or frame itself. You just point over at it.
Walk over and I.
Push the gear back into place. There's a slight click, and then this and all the gears, it starts with this one gear, starts to and all the gears begin to all the way around until each of the gears is kind of like turning in motion all the way around this mirror. And Matashtai and Ezrah Illusion, you see the surface of the mirror liquefy and go silvery as a gate, a portal opens up.
Another portal. All right.
This is going to be the
Gear mirror.
The gear mirror
The gear mirror.
portal. There. Gear mirror portal.
No, Gearmia!
Gear
mirror.
We're gonna forget that we called it that. We're gonna like, what the fuck is mirror?
Why is it called gear mirror? What the fuck? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, everyone can gain 300 experience points for locating and activating. Activation is important. The gear mirror portal. Yeah,
Enter the throne of Gondor.
All right. I'm going to shout back. Y'all think I should turn it back off?
It'll probably do it that itself, probably.
They all kind of go off on their own eventually.
How long typically?
In theory, I could send my illusion through the portal and see where it goes.
I don't know, 1 to 10 minutes. Do that. Sever your mind forever.
Ooh.
If that works.
Mine forever. And we just carry vegetable Ezra with us for the rest of the campaign.
We'd kill him, dude. It'd be a mercy.
Vedraza.
Vedra.
I mean, it doesn't say anything about planes or portals or anything in the spell.
Until
so-
Ezra's consciousness comes back to us, inhabiting a hat. With
Pretty sure,
astral
like,
legs.
regardless of where his illusion goes, he can just stop
So
the
do
illusion.
you send Ezra Illusion through the portal?
Illusra?
I mean,
Illusra?
the only person that I had there to say yay or nay just walked away from his goddamn computer.
I think that's an
decide.
implicit yay.
Then Ezra walks through the portal before it
Oh
closes.
shit.
Well, you're awfully real when you're brave when you're not corporeal.
I'd
yeah,
be too.
of course.
I'd be
You're right.
too.
Okay, Illusra goes through the portal and disappears, and Ezra, you see through Illusra's eyes, the same thing that you've seen many, many times before, right? Like this strange river of silvery arcane energy surrounded by dark shadow, and Illusra begins to float, to drift through this passage, and
Skipping in glee.
sure enough, as you are floating through this passage, there is a sudden like the hands like the scenario from the very beginning of Princess Mononoke, right? Like the black ooze on the boar, right? The like rapidly
God.
going forward.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
the eyes begin to blossom in the darkness, and
I'm
then the hands
skipping, like,
stretch
looking at it,
down
smiling, waving.
towards Illusra and Ezra. As the shadowy hands wrap into the illusion, you feel something. You feel this strange foulness, this like this taste, like almost getting your mouth washed out, right? Kind of scenario,
I
right? Like
think to
soap in
myself,
your
did
mouth.
ashes just fart?
And
Yeah.
you have a brief out-of-body moment where your consciousness feels like it's shunted from where you're at with Illusra, right? And you are looking at yourself wrapped around by these shadowy hands, and your Illusion's eyes have gone yellow, and there's this big grin on their face, and your connection to your illusion is severed. You poof find yourself back in your body.
Great.
Oh, that didn't work.
How's it
But we had
going
a
in there,
time.
Ezra?
I'm back. It didn't work.
Did you just release the shadow under the mountain?
We can only hope.
Oh shit.
It has been
I
given.
pulled the gear
form.
back out.
Yeah, at least it's an illusionary form. This should not be able to
shit.
touch things.
You actively go and you pull the gear out.
Yeah.
You don't wait to see if it closes itself?
Yeah, fuck that. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn that bad boy off for now.
The gear you mess with the gear, right, and it kind of like pops, and it pops out, and the
break
whole
it,
thing
it
just
never
kind of
works
like.
again.
You reach to
stops.
grab it, and then out of the portal, Ezra's hand grabs your wrist.
Terrifying.
Unnaturally strong.
And
That'd be
starts
pretty-
pulling you in. You're like, no!
There.
That'd be pretty funny. But no, that does not happen. Matashtai, you pull the gear out, and the mechanism stops, and the silvery portal closes, and once more is just a mirror.
All right, y'all, turn it off. I'm coming back. Hopefully, this doesn't hurt too much. And I run through.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Hey.
You this time, right, like having experienced it, kind of like knowing what you're dealing with, convinced that, you know, this is in truth, because the first time you weren't so sure. You were sure, but you weren't positive, right? Like, now, absolutely, this definitely is, you got this is fine. You rush through, and there you are assailed, right? Like, your mind is assailed by these sensory impulses, but you are able to ignore them, make your way out, and suffer no ill effects.
Nice. I thank Valena for helping protect me.
I just was quiet this time rather than saying something. Good job, me.
Seemed to work.
Well, I don't like the implications of that.
All right.
So what was
so-
over there?
Just another portal. Looks like don't know where it goes, but just keep a
You have to,
little note of that, and I suppose maybe if we get things cleared up here, we could check it out. But we don't know where it goes yet.
Like a just a graph of all the portals and which ones are connect and are next to another ones.
Bro,
Just have
make
a
it.
tree of
I feel like you could probably do it. Just like take a circle and like put each gate that you find on the circle, and then just draw a line to where it goes.
you know, like. Well, I think it would be better to like circles represent floors, and then you put all the gates you know that are in that floor, and then draw a line to the match.
But then you're gonna have like weird little like orbits everywhere.
Yeah, you would.
That's gonna be real complicated.
I think it is really complicated.
That's because it is.
All right. Well, yeah, no, another portal. Don't know that we should really do much with it for now.
One day we'll actually use these.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, we really gotta do something about that shadow of the mountain, though, because
That's really harsh in our buzz.
it'd be nice to actually be able to use them.
You guys can use them just fine. What are you talking about?
You
Pretty
shut
sure-
up, voice from above.
I'm pretty sure he's the big bad evil guy.
Yeah, that wasn't the DM. That was Halaster.
All right, well, what do we do now?
What
Sleep.
to do now, indeed.
I used a spell slot. Now we sleep.
I used a single spell slot. Now we sleep.
One single spell slot. Great.
I now make it my mission to slap him every 5 minutes
Oh my god.
when he's trying to sleep.
Wow. Holy shit.
And you don't get allowed into my dome.
Okay, so the middle area is evil Black Tongue territory. Is that correct?
The
Also, the
yes.
temple, where we find out more about the scourges.
Yeah, that's like this way, right? To the west
It's
of
like
us.
over here, I think, somewhere maybe.
No, it's right here.
We can see part of it.
This
It's
is
right
it.
here.
Oh yeah, okay, there it is. Why
Yeah.
can we see part of it?
Because
Weird.
we had been able to see it from when we were entering this little area.
There were torches or lights.
Yeah,
of some
there
sort
there
that
are
gave us
little
some
light
vision.
sources that flicker around. Yeah, you can kind of see from the tip of the tongue, so to speak. You can see down this tunnel, this passageway leading northwest, mostly west. You can see there are fireflies and glowing fungus and things like that that illuminate little spots here or there in the side of a massive ruined temple. The same one that you had seen from... Huh?
Question.
What's up?
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. It just popped in my head. Ezra's mislead spell. His illusion is gone. Does his invisibility retain?
Until he ends the spell or causes it to break.
So he's still concentrating on the spell? Good.
So if you're still concentrating, you're still technically invisible, Ezra.
Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever he walks into
I assume I
water,
would have noticed that. When...
does he put like
Yeah.
voids where his feet are?
Yes.
Yes,
That'd be
absolutely.
really cool
That
to
is what
see.
happens.
Just like, bloop, bloop, bloop,
Yeah.
You
bloop.
just see these tubes.
Unless you go fully underwater.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds like Ezra.
I mean, we're currently underwater breathing, so sure.
I slip off my ring of swimming.
There you go.
I kind of
where-
slide it onto your finger.
Where is he swimming to? Isn't it like shin deep water?
Yeah, it's shin deep water here.
He's gonna get real low.
Okay, so the tunnel to the northeast
I
of
take
us
my ring of swimming back.
probably takes
Northeast.
us directly to Yak. The
That'd be
northwest leads to the temple.
yeah.
right?
And
south leads to the scourges.
south. This is south is Queen of Bones, and super south is Scourges. I think.
I think
So it kind of sounds like we're to a point where
here is the Queen of Bones is kind of a barrier between the other two scourges. If memory is correct, we have to go through
think I
her
remember that, too.
territory before we get to the other two, and
Okay,
they're
again,
in general
so
to the
we're
southeast.
Kind of back to exactly the same spot we have. We can go mess around in the middle, and I don't know. I guess hope Yak doesn't get involved. Don't know. Or there's that one place next to Sadman Island.
yeah. I think we've reached a point where we've gathered as much information as we can without making a decision. Where do we want to go? Do we want to deal with Yerk? Do we want to go to the center, get more information about the scourges? Or do we want to just go try and fight the bone bitch?
Okay. There's also Sadman Island, adjacent Sadman Island. Just saying.
Well, again, not specifically so that people don't get hung up on it. He's not talking about Sadman Island. He's talking about that unexplored part to the southeast of
Look,
Sadman
if
Island.
everyone looks at Sadman Island, I'm thinking where it is. This is the little fucking unexplored thing on our map. There's an unexplored token.
Zoom
marker.
out because I'm not seeing your ping.
It's
Yeah,
back
you
to
were
where we
definitely
met.
not clear when you were talking about it.
Oh.
Yostal, Yoastel.
Yoastel, yeah, it's to the
that's
west of where
not
Yoastel
a
was.
wall?
Look at the map. There's a little.
On
There's
the
a little.
map, there is
plus.
a token that there is a passage potentially down.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine with doing a little exploring down there. Let's start with this passage.
I will, for clarity, I will point this out because I have done this in the past and I will probably do this in the future. if you guys just miss a little section of black on a wall because you like went around a place, I sometimes put that as an unexplored token just so that you know.
Oh, there you
Not
go.
saying that this is one of those cases necessarily, but
it could be.
it could be. You don't know.
I don't
Again,
think there's
I'm
anything
fine
left
with
without.
starting there, but at least doing a little bit further exploration towards Dwermacor, because obviously we need to get our bearings in that regard as well.
Okay, let's go to Sadman Island then.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So
Send
you
them
guys,
out
do you guys
adjacent,
want to
whatever.
head to that direction? What route do you want to take to get there? Back the way you came specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Then I will move you guys on. You begin to tromp through the swamp back from whence you have came, down the tunnel leading away from the memory fragment of the Vrail Olo. I will say at this point, I'm going to point out, Matashtai, you did say earlier that you had your lantern turned on, right?
Yes, I did.
Are you turning that off now as you go back out into kind of like vision range of the temple?
If people could see us out in the
You would
swamp area, yeah,
Absolutely.
I would turn it off.
You can see them from where you entered, so you would absolutely be seen. Definitely.
Yeah, I would turn it off.
So you guys begin to head back that direction. You can see kind of to the north of you as you are coming out, and I need all of you to roll stealth checks as you are traveling down this little kind of line out of this area and in vision of the temple, because the guards are a little more alert than they were the previous time that you were here. So, stealth 24, stealth 24, stealth 8.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop a Sork point to reroll.
Okay. Stealth 10.
Want to apologize ahead of time.
Yeah, well.
Stealth 6. 3 successes, 1 failure. The party is not detected, as the majority of you are relatively quiet, and those that aren't are able to cover for Ash's issues, as he has a couple of like slips or trips or falls here as you guys are kind of like going through. The sentries around the temple do seem more alert now, but they do not seem as if they are overly invested in their jobs. Oh right, Ezra, you're invisible anyway, so you're doing grazie. I would say, Ezra, if you wanted to take that sorcery point back, you would just have an 18 originally. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does he have his headset on?
Yeah.
Instead, yeah.
Okay.
I can hear him.
Yeah, he can
Got
hear
my
me.
speaker on, so. Yeah.
So make sure you put that sorcery point back. Yep.
Already
All right,
done.
so you guys, undetected, you head back towards the temple where you had met Yoastel, but you bypass it in order to head further towards the west. And sure enough, as you kind of venture past the temple, you can see the Lonely Man Isle in the west northwest, right from your current location. But you see there's actually this break in the wall to the south of you that you had not noticed previously, and it leads further southward.
As we kind of walk towards it, I kind of mentioned, "Good call, Bones. I did not see that."
Sadman Island.
Why is it called Dead Man
Go
Island?
south. Go
There
south.
was a sad man.
That's where you guys found the sad ghost that was just talking to himself.
Oh, okay. So okay, got you up there by the
Yeah, do not go up here. Up
Ouroboros
here, bad.
statue of Dindar.
Bad.
All right, so as you approach, you see a break in the dark wall that encloses the swamp, a massive gouge in the dark rock. And just inside, you see stone ground, not earth, but stone, rise up, clearing the bog and forming a large, almost kind of like hoof-shaped chamber before you. So what do you want to do?
I go check it out.
Okay. Bones begins to creep forward in order to check it out, looking
What's
around.
Kid Cat?
Kitty cat. Okay, what does the kitty cat see? The kitty cat can see, again, this chamber, right? Relatively dry, stone, not earth. And there are tunnels leading away to the south and to the west. There is the cave itself, right? It's dry. And the narrow entry into it seems to help dissipate the overall stench that kind of permeates the swamp itself, that kind of like boggy, rotted vegetation smell. But more than that, more than just the actual removal from the swamp, there is a feeling, an atmosphere, an air here that sets it apart from the swamp. As if, like, this doesn't feel like it's a part of the swamp. This feels like it is another place that has a point of entry that is broken into the swamp.
Okay.
Okay.
Just keep on skirting on around. I
Okay.
don't want anything to see me.
Gotcha. What is everyone else doing?
Just staying back to not mess up any sneaking.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm a sneak with him.
We're snaking. We're snakes.
Forward.
We're sneak bros. I'm trying to learn from the sneak god to become a sneak demigod.
Sounds good. The bones, you're stepping forward.
Yeah, I'm snaking. Snaking around this here. cabin.
As you step forward, onto back here, onto the actual surface of the stone.
Okay.
There is a sudden surge, a hum in the air, and a rush or wash of energy that flows over you and you as well, Matashtai. And then suddenly the chamber itself it's filled with this purplish gas, choking you, filling your
Great
lungs,
gas.
burning your eyes. I need both of you to roll me. I need you to roll me DC 15 Constitution saving throws.
Oh yeah,
15,
baby.
you said?
Bones,
I
you
have advantage.
definitely have advantage.
Yep.
Ooh. Remind
Yeah.
me. So one more time, it was like ash coming out, shooting at our eyes.
No, it's a gas. It's a billowing purplish gas
Oh.
just suddenly all around you.
Well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And it fills up the entirety of the chamber.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer to this that I want to use right now. So,
Do you have any poisony stuff, Matashtai?
well, I'm immune to poison. So,
Are you're immune to poison damage? Did we determine that? Is that what that is?
I will click the thing, and we can talk through it again. But last time we had determined that I was immune to anything poison.
You're talking about like pure mind or some shit, or pure body.
Yeah, it's purity of body.
It makes you immune to disease and poison.
Seems like a scenario. Like
5e monk, purity of body, poison damage immunity? Question mark. Yeah,
Invalid.
Jeremy Crawford says you're immune to poison damage and poison condition.
sounds valid. Okay.
I think that's the exact same article we found last time.
Probably. So Bones.
Why don't you like edit that to say includes damage.
Okay, hold on, I got
For
this.
future reference, that would be pretty good. Okay. 29.
I am resistant to poison if it's poison.
Yes. Bones, you take 15 poison damage as the poisonous gas fills your lungs and you begin to half and cough and sputter. Matashtai, you're startled by the sudden release of gas, right? But as you breathe in the fumes, you realize that they are poisonous and thus they do not harm you because of your dope monk shit. What do both of you do in this instance? Poison gas has filled the chamber basically to these points, and the others, you all can see this as well.
I would like to run out, back out into the swamp.
Run back out, back into the swamp. Easy peasy. Have at it.
I guess if I'm immune, I kind of look back at the guys like, should I?
You can kind of see Matashtai through this hazy, slightly obscured gas that's filling the chamber.
If you're unaffected, at least look around.
It's up to you. Yeah, look around.
All right, I'll go looking. What activated the gas? Did you step on something?
Like I ever would.
I would say this, Bones, your perception is high enough that you didn't see anything to have stepped on, but when the thing triggered, there was a flash of what looked to be like a sigil in the air near you.
It was magic shit.
All right. That's a little bit more concerning. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna walk up into a bunch of fucking Dwemer core mages and get my ass kicked. All right, let's see what's down here.
As you begin to move forward, you poke your head out. I love this. You poke your head out of the gases that are beginning to fill the chamber behind you. And you no longer have this acidic, kind of like weird sulfurous compound in your nostrils. You're immune to it, but you can still smell it, right? Like, you shake it off and you push past, and that sulfurous stench is immediately replaced by a different stench. A stench of rotten flesh and decay. And you see further past you, down this tunnel, you see a hulking form of amalgamated flesh, kind of lopsided, tongue lolled out, one massive eye and one small eye kind of turn. And you've seen one of these things before. You've seen a flesh golem, and it turns. It just begins to raise this yell up towards you.
I love Discord, by the way. I love Discord. It just cuts him off.
It just cuts everything.
It didn't cut him off. It just pulled him way
Yeah,
the fuck
really?
down.
Oh my God.
Like so quiet with it.
As you got
horrible.
louder with as you put more into it in your voice, the
Wow.
actual sound coming out went down.
That is
It was amazing.
unfortunate. All right,
Thank
so
you.
Oh no, it's not.
as that happens, I think that is where we're gonna end the session, except
Uh-oh.
something else does happen.
No.
Shit.
And what that something else
Was
is
possessed.
Behind us.
is Ezra. You feel a tickle at the back of your mind. Still invisible, still concentrating on your hour-long mislead spell. You feel a tickle, and you are pulled forward into
Damn, peace out, bro.
into the vision of Eluzra as you are shunted out of the arcane portal, the river, right? The gate. And through into a vast, open, worked chamber, architecture. This is a stone temple, a beautiful place filled with dozens, hundreds of drow. And before you stands an obsidian throne, and sitting upon it a queen in obsidia. And she turns, she's in an audience with someone, and she turns casually to you as you step out of this mirror. And she just kind of sighs, and everything around you erupts in explosions and flames, and sigils and wards fire off. There is a cacophony of horrendous magic, which does basically nothing to your illusion.
It just stands there
until a final
dispel.
sigil flashes
Dispel
that
magic.
breaks the enchantment and erases your illusion. And that is the last little bit that Illusra sees as Ezrah, your vision is shunted back into your own mind with that wonderful piece of knowledge.
At the end, you just hear, "Oh boy."
Wah, wah.
Why would the dispel be last? They're like, oh
Because
man, if they have something in...
I mean,
first.
to be fair, like, how often do you open a fight with dispelling something in case it's an illusion?
Well, I mean, but like, I guess if they had like, prepared defensive things on them.
A good point, Bones. They will see the errors of their ways in that, and they'll make sure to set up the dispel first going forward. Thank you.
Well, then I'm gonna,
Thank you, Bones.
Then I'm gonna argue
that's a
that
good
that
point.
dispel, I'm gonna argue that dispel dispels the other runes. So just prepare for that.
Oh, there you go. That's a good concept. There you go. Maybe that's why they did it that way.
Yeah, well.
Anyways, that's gonna be the end of our session tonight. Lots of, I thought, interesting stuff, interesting develops. I'm very, very curious to see where you guys go from here. That's gonna be it for tonight's session. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week, hopefully. Bye-bye, everybody.
Goodbye forever.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.